Some mysteries don't begin with a crash, they begin with paperwork. A file, 116 pages long, 2 years of reports, and a number that shouldn't exist. 209 sightings near a secret facility in Sandia, New Mexico between 1948 and 1950. Not one story, a pattern. When the U.S. government released a new batch of declassified UAP files online, most people hunted for the scariest video, the clip that looks the most impossible. The frame you can replay 1,000 times, but the most disturbing part of this release wasn't a single piece of footage. It was the idea hiding in plain sight. These are unresolved cases, and unresolved often means something colder than people want to admit. Not alien, not confirmed, just not enough data. And when you open the Sandia File, the same feeling repeats over and over. Report after report, different witnesses, different nights, different descriptions. But the same place keeps showing up. Sandia wasn't a random dot on a map. It wasn't a tourist sky. It wasn't a place you casually drift over without being noticed. It was a location tied to secrecy and restricted activity. And the paper trail suggests it kept attracting reports anyway. Witnesses described green orbs, discs, fireballs. Different words, same shock, because whatever it was, it kept appearing close enough to be seen, but not close enough to be captured properly. Here's the trap with UFO stories. One sighting can be dismissed, a misunderstanding, a balloon, a bird, a reflection, a camera artifact, a rumor that grows teeth. But 209 reports in a tight window near the same sensitive location, that's not one mistake. That's either a social contagion or a real environmental pattern, or something that repeatedly produced the same kind of human reaction. So the real question isn't, what was it? Not yet. The real question is, why there? There are only a few explanations that fit a cluster like this. One, the sky was normal, but the people weren't. Fear spreads fast, especially in tense periods. One story becomes 10. 10 becomes a local myth. A rumor becomes a template. People start looking up, expecting to see something, and once you expect a shape, your brain will find a shape. 2, then the sky was normal, but the environment wasn't. Atmospheric effects can repeat in the same region, electrical storms, temperature layers, optical illusions that occur under specific conditions, again and again, in the same geography. Something natural keeps producing the same visual confusion. A file like this could grow without any craft involved. 3, the sky wasn't normal at all, but the explanation was still human. Tests, flares, classified aircraft, prototype technology, things that the public isn't meant to understand in real time, especially around places that live inside secrecy. The problem is that secrecy creates a second distortion, silence. When sensitive places see something they can't publicly explain, they don't always clarify it. They file it. They classify it. They wait. And time turns uncertainty into legend. And then there's the fourth possibility, the one people jump to too fast, that the sky wasn't normal and it wasn't ours. But here's the thing. A disciplined archive doesn't start with the most dramatic conclusion. It starts with what the file actually proves. And what a file like this proves is not aliens. It proves repetition. It proves clustering. It proves that something created enough concern to be written down again and again. Now let's talk about why insufficient data is the scariest phrase in this entire story. Because a modern UAP case is rarely one video. A real case is a stack, timestamps, altitude, speed, range, sensor mode, calibration, weather, location, multiple systems confirming the same track. A single clip can lie without trying. Distance can make speed look impossible. Compression can turn a bird into a sphere. Heat shimmer can become a moving object. The camera can create a mystery just by being imperfect. So when you hear about historical sightings near Sandia, you have to ask the question most people skip. What would it take to solve it? And did investigators ever have that level of detail? Because if you don't have the measurements, you don't have closure. You only have stories. And this is where the Sandia File becomes unsettling in a deeper way. Even if you believe every normal explanation, the pattern still matters. Patterns change behavior. Patterns change protocol. If enough people near a restricted location keep reporting strange lights, it changes what guards expect. It changes how rumors move. It changes what people whisper about after midnight. It changes what a community thinks is possible. So here's a mid-video question, and I want you to answer it honestly. What would you personally need to see to accept that a case is truly unknown? One clear photo? Two sensors confirming the same target? A radar track with range and speed? A pilot testimony with instrument data? A physical trace? Comment your answer, because it reveals something important, not what you believe, but what you require from reality before you trust it. Because once you define the standard, you also reveal the fear behind the mystery. What if the most important cases always fall just short of that standard? What if the missing piece keeps disappearing decade after decade right when it matters? This is why the Sandia File hits harder than a random viral clip. It's not a meme. It's not a single moment you can laugh off. It's a record of a pattern in a place designed to be hard to observe during a period where documentation itself becomes the only remaining witness. And that's what makes it terrifying. Not because it confirms visitors from space. It doesn't. The most serious official language around these releases still frames them as unresolved cases that can't be definitively determined, often because the data isn't sufficient. That's the theme. That's the reality. A world where something can be seen, reported, even tracked briefly, and still never become provable enough to close. 209 reports, one location, 2 years. And a conclusion that isn't a conclusion, just a label. Unresolved. So here's the question that ends this file and opens the next one. If something can appear that many times near a secret facility and still escape identification, then maybe it isn't just hiding from cameras. Maybe it's hiding inside the gaps of what we're allowed to measure, what we're allowed to keep, and what we're allowed to confirm. Tell me your theory in the comments. What do you think explains the Sandia cluster? Fear and copycat reporting, environmental illusions, classified human technology, or something genuinely unknown? And if you want more files like this, real documents, real patterns, and the secrets hidden inside what isn't said, subscribe to the Silent Archive, because sometimes the most frightening line in any case isn't "we saw something." It's insufficient data.